Welcome back, everyone. We have Chaney from Entheos. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I know you've been having a crazy schedule. Album coming out next week. You know.
Yeah, it's a little wild. And I just got home from California. We were visiting family last night at like 2 in the morning. So it's like boom, 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 boom. But that's the way it goes. I'm just
Right.
doing it up.
Right. Well, we'll get into this. You guys are about to drop your fifth release and Into Everything. How has the writing and recording process changed since your first EP, Primal?
It's changed a lot because with Primal, we were like a full band of people, and now we're just a band of two people, and we happen to be married and live in the same house. So we, just kind of like obsess over shit and write constantly. And I feel like we've honed in on like who we want to be as a band, which I think is easier now than it was with five people. Because with two people, it's like, well, we both know what we want. We both have a vote and we both have a total say here. So, yeah, it's just like become much more of a streamlined process over time, really. And I think that because of that, we're able to write our best material.
And I know you're the singer, basically. So, does he write lyrics also? Is it just you, or do you write music also?
I'm the only one who writes lyrics. There's no way in hell I would let Naveen write the lyrics. Sometimes though, if it's like I need to produce a line or something, I'll ask him if it's okay to take something out. But honestly, I don't have total conviction in saying what someone else is saying. You know what I mean? So I've like written poetry since I was a kid and stuff, and I kind of need that control over a band. I don't write the music, but Naveen and I do the same as we'll do with like lyrical patterns and melodies and stuff with vocals. We sit in the same room, and if a part doesn't fit, then I'll express that I don't think that fits. Or if like if I think it needs to repeat 5 more times for me to get across what I want to get across, then I'll say that. Or if I think a riff sucks, then I'm going to say it. If he thinks a melody sucks, then he's going to say it. So it's kind of like we both like produce each other, but we don't write for each other.
And I noticed you guys have already released 4 of the 5 songs. What made you guys go about releasing it this way compared to like having 2 singles and then dropping it as a full EP?
Well, the original idea behind the EP was that we were just going to put out 5 singles. Like that's what I went to our management with, and then what we went to Metal Blade with, because I think that, in the current music climate, that's a good way to release stuff and stay relevant. I hate to, it's
True though.
just like one of the many options in releasing music. And on top of that, like we wanted to be able to have a visual element to we wanted to be able to have it all be singles for it to all have music videos. And of course, when you present that to a record label, they want to package it and make it so that they can sell it. And by making it into an EP, that was their idea. They brought that back to us, like, let's do an EP and then we can add some live tracks to it. And we're like, hell yeah. We didn't even know if you guys would want to do that. So great. And yeah, that was we just wanted to go and write 5 singles and like have them fully produced with Mark Lewis, and then figure out if that's what we were going to do for an album. So when they came back with the EP idea, it's like, okay, then it becomes this collection of things. And yeah. But like I said, it's like the current, the music climate right now is that we're living in a singles climate. So, some people don't want to look at it as an industry, and some people do. And I think that that's just, in reality, it's a smart way to release singles or music. And that's why I went to our management with that idea in the first place.
Not just that, like I feel like it keeps fans more motivated to want to listen to you compared to, oh, I got to wait a whole 2 months to hear the whole record compared. So I think it keeps them relevant and your band relevant. Going into this EP, was your vocal approach different at all?
I think that my vocal approach is just always kind of different because I'm always trying to add new shit into my repertoire. And it was definitely different in the way that in Entheos, I've never tracked vocals external, like outside of just me and Naveen. Naveen has tracked all vocals on every record up until this EP. So going to Mark was different, but I think it was also, it was a great exercise in like getting out of my own way and having both Naveen and I get out of our own way, and just kind of like, Mark Mark is like a very hidden member of our band. He's like the fourth member of our band, but you know, he's operating behind the scenes because he like Mark isn't as like technically he like doesn't think of things in as much of a technical like metal way as Naveen and I do. And sometimes I think when you think too technically, it makes music really fucking confusing. And having like a third party to be like, dude, I'm just trying to hear like a simple thing over that. Like, this doesn't need to be fucking like, you know, the most crazy jam session or like going and doing a million vocal layers. He wants to hear more raw stuff. And I think because of that, like the vocals were the truest thing that I would put out. And like, it just like made the process like way better.
That makes sense, and
Yeah.
a lot of the way you sing is, like, kind of emotional. Going into the studio, did you have to get in a certain headspace to sing certain songs?
No, I think I'm just always in that emotional headspace, dude. It's not anything that I have to work up.
That's not bad. And then,
Yeah.
lyric-wise, how personal do you get with your lyrics?
My lyrics are incredibly personal. So the EP is about a friend who passed away because he was an enabler of someone else's addiction, more or less. And yeah, so it's like the most personal thing possible.
That's very
And I, you know, I used to be a little more guarded with that type of thing when I wrote lyrics when I was younger, but I just over time I'm like I think that these are the type of lyrics that I resonate the most with, and they're the type of lyrics that I can deliver the most truthfully, and they're what I resonate the most with in other people. So over time I've just given less and less of a shit about being guarded, and I've wanted to like put myself on out there way more.
That's all that makes sense, and when writing these lyrics, when you got in the studio, singing them, did any of the lyrics change?
Oh yeah, lyrics change all the time. You know, patterns will change if I have like a pattern and then Mark is like, we need to cut that down a little bit, then I'll change it, you know, I'll alter it to fit. So lyrics are like definitely something that I'm working on my own and then I take into the studio, but I am like writing in real time as well. So sometimes I'll like need to add 5 sentences that I couldn't even think of the night before, and it's like all coming out right there. So shit it is ever evolving, and honestly I would change lyrics until the end of time. Someone has to tell me to stop. So
That makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, and when looking at your lyrics, what do you decide is the clean vocals and screaming when you're going up with your approach?
It's just really obvious. It just sticks out. Like I can just tell if a part is a part that I want to sing over. If it's a part that I think needs screaming, you know, it's like parts just stick out when you listen through to them, and it's like this is so. If anything feels forced, then I just don't put it there.
That makes sense. And talking about how personal your lyrics are, do you have any favorite lyrics you sing on this EP?
Oh my God, I have so many favorites on this EP. Some are in the last song that we're putting out next week, Return to Me. That one gets really, really fucking emotional about, you know, my friend dying and just talking, you know, speaking about, let's see, what's the end lyric? It's like, as the light of the day slips slowly from my grasp, I'll deteriorate until there's nothing left. And it's like, that's kind of like just about time slipping away and how we, you know, we lose parts of ourselves over time until inevitably we die. An End to Everything, the first single, I'm so proud of. There's a part that's like, okay, the whole first, sorry, I'm like racking my brain. It's this word for me to feel here. Where the light doesn't reach, a path I've endlessly walked along, lost in memories of youth. Darkness envelops in passing days. My only comfort is misery. And it's like that song is it's about embracing like a sense of darkness within yourself and a sense of like, because I don't know, you know, I don't know how you operate on a daily basis, but I find myself to be a pretty melancholy person, even though I'm happy. But I like thrive in, you know, most of the songs I listen to are sad. I love sad things. And sometimes it feels like misery is my only comfort. And it's something that I've accepted and that I like embrace about myself. So I really like that lyric, and yeah, I'm really proud of all the lyrics on this EP. And honestly, I think that I am becoming a better lyricist over time.
And for you, like, so it's your husband that's in this band with you. A lot of bands have not tour, have recording rituals. Like Lorna Shore has watching feel good movies. Body Snatcher has playing Call of Duty. Do you have any rituals?
Just get in there and fucking do it. We don't have any rituals. I smoke a lot of weed and just do our thing.
And during this process, did you guys listen to any bands that influenced this record at all?
Oh, we listened to a ton of bands that influenced this record. I would say that they're like, God, I don't know if there's anyone who like comes straight to mind, but there are like some pitched vocals on this record that I would say are pretty directly influenced by like Intronaut and Gojira.
Nice.
And singing parts. Okay, so I guess there are now that I'm thinking. I listened to a ton of like Chelsea Wolfe and Emma Ruth Rundle and Marissa Nadler and Converge, and I'm always trying to bring aspects of those bands, and I think that you can hear that in like my melodic voice. Yeah, just like I don't know, it's so hard to differentiate between what you bring in as an influence because I feel like Naveen and I are both really influenced by a ton of things. Like we were listening to a ton of like Rammstein and Marilyn Manson, and we're listening to that stuff even more now. So I can only imagine what our new album is going to sound like. But like grunge and just like kind of like sludgy, dark stuff, and
Like
even more like go ahead.
I said, sounds like a wide variety. Like you guys seem very open-minded musically.
Yeah, we are. We definitely don't stick to like one specific thing. And we both just like kind of dark, grimy music. And I think that's where we see the band going over time. Like we want it to be haunting. We want it to be evil and dark. And we want you have that our EP cover in the background here, and like the colors red and black and white, I feel like really represent our band, in golds sometimes. And aesthetically, like that's what aesthetically we have in mind, and the music kind of matches that.
That's perfect. And what keeps you inspired to write music and lyrics?
God, that I feel like I get all backed up if I don't do that. I don't know. I can't explain why that's like the vessel of which I feel like all of my artistic like being manic and stuff comes out that way. But like I just feel a need to create, and if I don't create, I go insane. And like, I don't know how to explain that. And I'm always fascinated when people don't feel that way, because I'm like, I don't know how else to like exercise my demons,
Right.
So yeah, it's just like, it's a constant thing that Naveen and I have both had inside of us since we were kids. And I don't think that either of us could really separate like why we do those things or what compels us to do that. It's just that like, this is how our minds ended up, and that's like what makes us feel the best. If it's up to us, then we're just locked in our house writing music all the time.
So you guys would you say you are consistently always writing a record basically between you guys?
Yeah, I mean our album hasn't come out, or our EP hasn't come out yet. It comes out a week from tomorrow, and I think we have probably like 4 songs written for our next album, and we're literally going into track in December. So yeah, we're constantly writing. And that's a part of why our band works as 2 people, because it's hard for like 3 other people to catch up with us and feel like they're like, able to get all of their artistic input into a band, because it's like we just like move really fast.
Yeah, that's crazy. And if you guys could collab with any artist as a band, who would you guys pick?
Damn, collab with any artist. Oh my God. I don't know. There are people who I really want to collaborate with. Marissa Nadler, I brought her up earlier. I really want to collaborate with her. If I'm talking like realistically, if I'm talking like the craziest shit ever, then I'd go back in time and collaborate with like Joni Mitchell and like Fleetwood Mac and Pink Floyd and Zappa.
That'd bring a very interesting style to you guys too.
Oh God, that would be so cool. But I would love to get Marissa Nadler on a song. I would love to just some of our friends, like, because we bring live players with us. I'd love to have our friend Scott Carstairs, who is the guitar player of Fallujah,
Badass.
play a solo on our record. Scott's playing with us live right now. And God, dude, when you hear that guy pick up a guitar, his hand tone is just like some of the silkiest fucking hand tone I've ever heard in my life. And so I'm sure we'll have him do something on our next record. But yeah, there are all kinds of people, dude. I want to like actually start doing that. And I think that it's something that metal does not embrace in a way that like rap and pop and other genres do.
Oh yeah.
You know, metal, we have like guest vocalists come on to songs and stuff, but that's not really bringing like a different style to a song. It's not two bands collaborating and doing something together. I've always thought that it'd be really cool for us to like do something with the Contortionist where it's like we're each actually having input on writing a song
Yeah.
and like, doing an actual collaboration that way. So I would love to do that with like a multitude of people. There are so many fucking amazing musicians who exist. It's like all of them. Let's do a collab with all of them.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
And do you have any vocal warm-ups you do for your clean or scream vocals?
I basically just get right into it. I talk a little bit and then I do a scream every morning. My whole, like, our band and crew, they make fun of me because every morning I'll be like, like do all the shit. And then I'm like, still got it. So every morning they're like, still got it, huh? So like I do that just because I'm like so fucking scared of getting sick on tour.
Yeah.
Or just our sleeping conditions. It's like even on buses, the air is so dry that like it just, as a vocalist, it's a fucking, touring is a fucking nightmare. It's not what you want to do, You want good sleep and to be hydrated. And so I'll like, just sing a little bit, scream a little bit. I have like a vocal God, what's it called? A little vocal like zone inhaler thing that
Yeah, I
I
was gonna ask about
that
that
I
too.
do. Yeah, so it's I eat cough drops all day too. So it's like it's stuff like that where I'm like not necessarily warming up but just always trying to stay lubed.
Yeah, that's a smart way of doing it, especially as a vocalist. And you guys are about to drop this EP. With you guys going on tour, how do you guys go about making a set list with having so many releases already? And how often do you guys change your set list?
We change our set list every tour. We go about making a set list by playing the songs that we think are the most bangers live. and
Makes sense.
and we also look at like what's our top played song on Spotify? What do the people want? And then we kind of get greedy and just do whatever we want with other songs. And it's like we just want something that like just goes over well and can draw in people who, you want to play stuff that's not necessarily your most like deepest cut ever that people aren't really going to want to listen to unless they're your fan. So yeah, we just try to mix things up pretty well. And a lot of the time it does end up that like our favorite songs are the newer songs that we have. So that's what we're throwing into the set. But yeah, it's different every time. And luckily we have this unique thing where we bring in live members and we ask them, like, what do you guys think are the songs, as people, outside people, like, what do you want to hear when you come and see us live? And they'll usually have some input on that. So it's a mixture of things.
That's pretty cool. And
Mhm.
we talked earlier about how personal you get with your lyrics. Singing live, does any of them hit you pretty hard?
Dude, all of them. There are lyrics that I sing that, I just recall what they're about and like the hairs will stand up on the back of my arms. There are some songs off of this EP because it's about a really close friend of mine who passed away. It's like there are songs off of this that I was like almost crying live when I played them. So, yeah, all this stuff. Like I said, it's a part of why I want to be the person to write all the lyrics because I want them to be conveyed in that way. And I wouldn't be able to resonate in that way with someone else's lyrics. So, dude, yeah. Every night it's different. Some nights I'll be thinking about what I'm like gonna order for food after we get off stage, but most nights I get really deep into the lyrics and I'm paying a lot of attention to them.
And you do vocal covers here and there. If you could cover any band that brings you out of your element of singing wise, who would you love to cover?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would love, I think I already brought up Joni Mitchell one time. But I want Joni Mitchell's singing voice. Quite frankly, she's like, and I can't cover Joni's songs because they're just so insane. So that's one person who I really have been like working. I would love to cover a Joni Mitchell song one day. But God, we're actually talking about, potentially doing a cover for the album we're working on. And I'm like thinking I would like to do Soundgarden 4th of July. I would like to do Marilyn Manson Tourniquet. That's,
Be sick.
yeah, I mean, dude, those are like two of my favorite songs of all time. And there are a few others. I'd like to do like a Mazzy Star song and just metalize it. I would love to do a fucking Tori Amos song and make it super metal. So like stuff like that. I think we can see where I'm going for.
Yeah.
I'm a very angsty, like, teenage girl, basically, and I
Very
always have been.
very angsty.
Yeah, I haven't grown out of it yet. It's not a phase, mom.
Um, and you guys have toured a lot with some good lineups. What's your dream tour lineup if you can pick?
My dream tour lineup is just us doing a fucking headliner that's sold out everywhere. That's that's my dream tour lineup. But aside from that, it's like I don't fucking know. I think that it'd be cool to do a Slipknot tour just because I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. That would be a really sick, like all the people I grew up in the scene with would be like, holy shit, Chaney really did it, you know? Or like, but really, yeah, it's kind of my dream to like just be able to put together our own. I want to do a headliner. I want to have a pick of the bands that we want to take out. And that's my dream.
I think that's accomplishable. I think you guys are getting to that level, in my opinion.
Thank you.
And what do you learn from the bands you guys go on tour with?
Oh my God, you always learn something incredible from bands you go on tour with. It's like, you learn new things about sound. You see things that they're doing production wise, and you're like, I need to do that. You learn business things from them. You learn how to conduct, because none of us really signed up to be in a band to like have to hire people
Right.
and be bosses and manage money and like be on the internet and do all these things with social media and have release strategies and blah blah blah. It's like you learn something new from the bands who are pro and who have been around doing it the longest. They got it going on with all of that stuff, so you end up learning a lot of cool new shit from that. Like we just did a tour with As I Lay Dying, and from them, it's like their guitar player Phil is such a good tour manager, and just they were so accommodating. And one thing that I learned from them that I feel like Naveen and I have always, it's kind of been the ethos of Entheos, if you will. It's like we've always wanted to like be in a headlining position where we could just be really kind to the opening bands. And not every headlining band you go out with gives a shit about the opening bands. Some of them, sometimes you'll go on tour with a band and you will never talk to them. Most bands, that's not the case, but it's just like different. Some people care a lot and some people don't care at all. And for As I Lay Dying, they cared so much about being friendly and accommodating and like making sure that we were having a great time on tour. And that's what I took from them. Like a good example is we played House of Blues in Houston, and in backstages, there are showers and bathrooms usually in our backstages so that we don't have to go out to the like main bathroom that everyone's using during the show. And ours was like under construction at the House of Blues in Houston. So As I Lay Dying bought us a hotel room down the street so that we'd have somewhere to go and shower and like not have to be in a crowd of people all day.
Yeah.
So just like things like that, they go so far, helping a band, they're huge. They don't have to help us. They don't have to give a shit about what we do. They never have to talk to us if they don't want to. They brought me out on stage every night to do a song with them. It's like, so from them, that was the thing that I learned. Just how to be a really good person to opening bands, because dude, everyone had to fucking struggle and eat shit to get to a headlining position. And for a headliner to be in a position that they are now where they can sell out like 1,500 cap rooms, for them to still care about bands on my level, it's like, or on our level, it's like that is that's huge. That's huge for a band like us.
I agree. And I love asking musicians, what 5 albums shaped you as a vocalist?
Holy shit. 5? Oh my God. Well, I would say that the like first initial one that comes to mind is As the Palaces Burn by Lamb of God, because Randy was like my first, he was the first like guy who pronounced words really well and had a dynamic range. Soul Niger Within, Frederick Thorndahl, Metal. Oh my God. All We Love, We Leave Behind, Converge. God, what else? I would say probably Dementia Dyslexia, Flesh Rot, which is Naveen's side project. God, I don't know. Dying Fetus, Destroy the Opposition. But then there's Cannibal Corpse. I don't know. I can't name 5. But if we're strictly talking metal, but full disclosure, there are so many albums outside of metal that
I agree.
defined who I am as a person. You know, it's like Circa Survive, Tegan and Sarah, Chelsea Wolfe, Joni Mitchell, Pink Floyd, all of there are a million bands that come to mind. So there are
And
so many.
that's where the next fun question comes into play. When going on tour, how does your playlist change from your day-to-day playlist to your touring playlist?
It never changes. I have this playlist on Spotify called Chaney's Ultimate Driving Playlist. And I think I'm up to like, it's got like hundreds of hours of music saved on Spotify on it. But dude, I listen to fucking everything, as you can probably tell from bringing all this stuff up.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been listening to a lot of like Drab Majesty, Touche Amore. It's fall, so I'm listening to a lot of depressing shit like Marissa Nadler and like you know, I always go back to like Circus Survive, Marissa Nadler, Emma Ruth Rundle, Yob. Oh my God, what else? Haven. I don't know. I listen to a ton of country music. I don't know. I listen to fucking everything, and it's
That's
impossible. I'm
amazing, though.
obsessed with music. I'm
That's
just
amazing.
completely obsessed.
That's amazing, though, and, you guys already accomplished a lot so far in your career. What else do you have on your bucket list that you would love to accomplish?
Like I said, headlining tour, sold out shows. I want to do that.
Yeah,
Headlining tour though is right now that's the main thing that we both want to accomplish.
that's a solid one, and,
Yeah.
what advice would you give your younger self?
Advice, just be more comfortable with being yourself. Be more like be I don't know, just go with the flow a little bit more and just stop giving a fuck a little earlier. You know, I'm not saying that I've given a fuck that much in the last like 10 or 15 years, but even earlier. It's like, you know, there are all these inhibitions tied up in being a human. And I think I just wish that I was more confident in being like, fuck having a normal job, normal life, hate it, trying to be in a band.
Right.
Which I always have been like that, but I wish I would have been even harder in that and just not cared.
That's some solid advice, and where can everyone keep up with you and buy this new fantastic EP that's about to drop?
All social media outlets. Follow me, Chaney Crab, on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the band on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. We're all over, dude. You're gonna get sick of us.
And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to be on the show,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
and then I'm gonna end the interview